whipping in a good cross. And shot! And a goal!
In the mid-1980s, Everton were just about the greatest team in the land, and I was privileged to enjoy some fantastic times wearing the royal blue jersey. These days I work as Everton's fans liaison officer. After some lean years, the buzz is back at Goodison Park, and it's all thanks to the man who's been named Manager of the Year for 2003. March the 27th, 2003. With 7 games to go, Everton lie 6th in the Premiership. For the first time in years, the fans have got something to sing about.
Tonight is the Hall of Fame, which is a night which pays tribute to all the old stars from Everton. Everybody can see today's team. Unfortunately, can't see many of the heroes from the past. And this sells out every year. It's absolutely chaotic. It's what all Evertonians are all about, you know.
I've only ever played for one club. I played 500 games for Everton. Never played for anybody else. It's the best club in the world. I've never heard of any ex-Everton player giving this club any stick. It's a marvellous club.
This is where I should have been all my life. I really should have been. Because the way they played in those days, played some absolutely gorgeous football.
Well, I shook hands with most of the players, but the only one I bowed down to was Alec Young, because he was the golden vision.
Came down here in 1960 and I was welcomed by these people. It's great to play in the 60s for Everton.
Once you play for Everton, you become an Evertonian and you never change. A typical Evertonian is a staunch supporter. I mean, there's none like them, and they're waiting for the good times to come back, and I don't think they'll have that long to wait.
The biggest ovation at the Hall of Fame night was reserved for Everton's new manager, David Moyes, the man who's given the Blues back their pride.
To get that reception, when you think of the greats what have come through this club, you know, when you think of the people who've actually played on the pitch, I've not played on the pitch here for Everton, and the managers who've, you know, won championships. I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, because maybe they've been starved of so much success. Any form of success is greeted with, you know, unbelievable adulation, but whatever the reason, you know, I'm really grateful and really thankful for it, and I'll never take any of it for granted.
I'm sure he'd get that reception if he was on the bus. But he deserves it, you see. You're talking to an Evertonian. I don't think it was incredible. I think he deserves every ounce of that reception.
It's appropriate that things have turned around in this of all seasons, because this year Everton became the first club ever to complete 100 seasons in the top flight of English football.
I don't know, because I'm an Evertonian, if we've actually got the credit we deserve this season, because, you know, Arsenal haven't done it, Manchester United haven't done it, Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea. It is 100 years in the top flight. That is a fantastic achievement.
The great Dixie Dean scored 60 goals in one season in 1928, a record which stands to this day. Since then, Everton's history has been glorious. Harry Catterick started a great dynasty in the 60s. Who can forget the cup final win of '66? There was Kendall, Harvey and Ball, one of the greatest midfield trios ever seen. And Everton have always had great strikers.
Royal unmarked at the back, here he comes! Good goal! Mackenzie. Twice he dummied the back heel. Still he has the ball. come to. Sharp, he's got Andy Gray in there. That's the goal! Lineker, another one for him.
Over on towards Johnson, now it's opening up. Peter Beardsley, one-on-one. Oh, brilliant play from Beardsley.
The club has won the league 9 times, the FA Cup 4 times, and in my day, the European Cup Winners' Cup as well. But sadly, since those days under Howard Kendall, times have been hard at Goodison. In the first 10 years of the Premiership, Everton finished in the top half of the table just once. Several times the club flirted with relegation, and in 1994 survived by the skin of their teeth on the last day of the season.
When those 3 goals went into the net, the release, the joy, the heights, it was I'm getting emotional now. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. When that final whistle blew, I promise you it wasn't Bill Kenwright directing, but was out of my seat, 7 feet high, it was the fan.
But things didn't improve on the pitch, and off it they were even worse.
Over the period of the last 5 or 6 years, I mean, if you look at the newspapers, you will always see Everton's name associated with financial difficulties. We had debts of, approaching £30 million. We were probably living beyond our means. It was very difficult for the club to aspire and try and keep on the coattails of, the Manchester Uniteds and Arsenals.
The team's not doing well, so everybody's a little bit down, and especially when you're scrapping and fighting for points that we had been doing a couple of seasons ago. It goes full circle. It's totally different. It's you're worrying about who you're going to beat, if the potential nightmare scenario if you go down, what's going to happen then. It's just a horrible feeling.
Walter Smith was the latest in a line of managers who tried and failed to make Everton great again. Last year, the club realised that something drastic had to be done. Owner and lifelong fan Bill Kenwright called Walter Smith to his London office to break the bad news. He was delighted with the way that his friend reacted.
Within 2 minutes of hearing it was over for Walter and Bill as a team, absolutely back to Everton Football Club. Who are we going to get? A few names were mentioned, and David Moyes was one of them. And Walter said, Moyes is a good lad. Do you know him? I said, I know of him. He said, he's a good lad. You should seriously have him on the list.
Kenwright met the pressing manager that night and was instantly impressed.
I thought, I think the journey's over. I don't think I've got to meet anyone else. He had so much focus, commitment. I think he mentioned the word win about 7 times in the first minute. And one of the very first things he said to me was, and you hear this from a lot of people, Everton won't go down. But he said it in a way that I believed him.
I had offers from other Premiership clubs, and I just felt none of them were quite right for me. It was an easy decision to join Everton. It was a hard decision to leave Preston, and to give it up was a big wrench, but it wasn't when you get an opportunity to manage Everton Football Club. It's such a big club, maybe I would have never been given an opportunity again. And it was somewhere which, in the back of my mind, I hoped that maybe someday I might be given that chance, and fortunate enough I was.
Thank you very much indeed.
I think I'm joining a football club which is probably the People's Football Club in Liverpool, and the people in the street support Everton, and I hope to give them something over the next few years that they can be very proud of.
I'm sure he had no idea when he called Everton the People's Club what it would mean to Evertonians, but if we needed anything at that time, it was those 3 words. And I remember going, he got me at hello.
In his first game in charge, at home to Fulham, David Moyes got a sensational start. Defender David Unsworth scored after just 27 seconds.
It was a great start, not just for myself, but for the team. We still needed, I think, 2 or 3 wins, to secure being in the Premiership, I think, and we got an instant lift.
When that ball went into the net against Fulham, And Unzi, God bless him, will tell you they've gone up there, down there, up there, all during the seasons, and just straight as a die. And you thought, hey, he's not only focused, he's not only committed, he's not only talented, he's lucky too.
Everton duly avoided relegation. This season things have gone better than anyone dared to hope for, with the team holding a position in the top 6 since November.
Most importantly, we work our socks off. It's that work ethic, I think, more than anything, that the gaffer's brought, and which has given us success. The supporters on the street, you see them in town, you come into work, everybody's buzzing, you know, and that comes from winning games and being successful. So it's a nice feeling.
I think they're full of hunger. I think there's a real strong feeling for the club. You know, the way the club look after their ex-players, the way the ex-players come back and talk so highly of the supporters in the club, the way the supporters treat their players, it's really, you know, it's one big circle here, it's never ending. And I think once you're in this circle, there's no way out it. I think you're stuck with it. And I'm certainly in that circle now.
He certainly is, much to the delight of the long-suffering Everton fans.
Your moods are all dictated by how they're doing, and I'd forgotten how much it meant until like this season, and it's like just wonderful this season.
If you had finished in the top 10, it was a result, but the way we're going, hopefully we can carry it on. Europe would be a dream.
Alright, we're not the greatest team in the world, but we've got a bit of pride back, and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
At the Hall of Fame Awards, the heroes were acknowledged, and there was a runaway winner of the Young Player of the Year.
David Moyes will now open the envelope and reveal the winner.
The Everton revival story is also about a boy.
I'm thirsty. You want something?
If you're up.
What do you think?
It's okay.
David, I'm in the kitchen. Can I get you anything?
What do you have?
A Coke.
That sounds good.
Are you sure?
Yes, please. Thank you, Court.
Ice?
Yes, please. Oh, thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
In my dreams, I'm running. From who? I'm not sure. They're wearing masks. They're tough customers.
Customers? What do they want?
Everything now.
On demand.
They're very demanding.
And you can't get away?
No. What does it mean?
That you're too slow, you can't respond, and you're in denial.
No, I'm not.
See?
Dad, I need a wee. Dad, I really need a wee. I need a wee, Dad, very soon. Dad, I'm thirsty. Can we go soon?
Whatever else bothers you this weekend, it won't be our prices. That's Comet Sense.
Want to get your bills down? Try using the net. Managing your gas and electricity online could save you up to £15.75 a year. To get your energy bills down by paying online, visit our website, Scottish Power ManWeb, the energy people.
We got some great short family breaks here. Kids prefer it here. No, they prefer it.
Get the brochure. Call 08454 56 56 56.
Here.
Here!
Now is the moment.
I have a feeling about you.
To go inside.
I do it on my own.
8 Mile.
But you just make sure you flip the script tonight.
8 Mile. Own the DVD and video from Monday.
Your hands are the goal. Red are the Liverpool.
What a goal!
Traore heads it out of defence to Hamann, who was here.
Actually, no, it was more like here.
Actually, it was more like here. Hamann lobbed it out to Duke. Oh, offside.
Play on, lads.
Oh, skins the defender with pace.
Before burying it with a quality finish.
So where's the goal?
Watch Barclaycard Premiership goals on your mobile. Pre-order now. Only on 3.
Things that make you go, mmm.
There's a delicious addition to McDonald's ever-changing new taste menu.
The new Mexican Quarter Pounder with cheese, guacamole sauce and tangy salsa. All in a tasty corn-top bun.
They've undercharged us.
We're hammering down prices, and there's an extra 10% off this Friday and Saturday.
I'm going back in.
Home base.
Gravison forward. Rooney, instant control. Fancies his chances. Oh, brilliant goal! A brilliant goal! Remember the name, Wayne Rooney.
David Moyes had certainly remembered the name when he first took the Everton job.
First thing he said was, tell me about Gaza. And we had a long, long chat about Gaza, and Gaza left the next day. But the second thing he said to me was, tell me about Rooney. And I said, he said, is he as good as everyone says he is? This is day one. And I said, the frightening thing is, I think he's better.
Wayne Rooney's arrival on the football scene has been sensational. He was still only 16 when he started scoring goals in the Premiership. In February, he became the youngest England player in history, aged just 17 years and 111 days. The world went Rooney daft, and Wayne was dubbed the future of English football.
He came to us after school in the pre-season, and we just thought, wow, this lad's gonna, he's gonna be in the first team soon, and he was. And he's matured, he's grown, he's got better, but he's a sensible lad, and he's willing to learn, and he's willing to listen. Got a rare, superb talent.
As an Evertonian, I couldn't begin to tell you the pride of seeing that kid with that shirt on. Oh, because he's one of us. He's like your son, your idol, your hero, your future, all rolled into one.
I'm mad about the boy, and I know it's stupid to be mad about the boy. I'm so ashamed of it, but must admit the sleepless nights I've had about the boy.
It's left to David Moyes to keep the lid on Rooney mania.
Everton's success this year has been down to many things. Wayne Rooney's a big part of that. But most of the season it's been without Wayne Rooney, and the club's moved on. But what we do know is that when Wayne Rooney's a regular on the team will again improve. So in the years to come I can see more improvement at Goodison, and Wayne and many of the other younger players we've brought in will be part of that.
The Rooney factor and the Moyes factor have been paying dividends off the pitch as well.
When we started the season we were anticipating 34,000 average gates. They've already risen to over 38,000. But it just goes to show that the catalyst for any football club being successful as a business must be what happens on the field of play. Every aspect of the club's benefited from that, whether it be from the mega store, selling merchandise, through the box office. Everything that we touch as a football club has benefited from the team winning more matches than we anticipated.
There's also been the Chinese connection with new shirt sponsors and the star of the Chinese national side, Li Tai.
Maybe when I arrived here, the more people interested in Everton. But before I came here, the Chinese people, they're quite interested in Premier League. Maybe Everton more popular than before, just after I arrived. Yeah.
Everton even have a website written in Mandarin, and suddenly there are stacks of new fans on the other side of the world.
I think maybe more than 500,000 Chinese fans, they read the website every day. So Everton is more popular than before. It's a really big football club in China.
However, one of Everton's major problems is Goodison Park. One of the great old grounds in English football, it's now too old and too small. A plan to move to a new stadium at Liverpool's King's Dock has collapsed. It's been suggested that selling Wayne Rooney could solve the financial problems.
No, not an option. The board have consistently said that the new stadium project, wherever it is, that money's ring-fenced completely separately. Our emphasis must always be on keeping the team momentum going forward. We're certainly not selling Wayne Rooney to finance, other players coming into the club or stadium development. That is not an option. If you want to compete at the highest level and compete with the Manchester Uniteds and the Real Madrids and the Milans and people like that, you need to be playing in the Champions League on a regular basis. It's not going to happen overnight. I say next season is going to be equally difficult.
Match day at Goodison, and there are just 3 games to go to the end of the season. A place in the UEFA Cup is tantalisingly close. My job is to look after special guest parties. I just remember certain things about Dixie Dean and people he played alongside, so these come in handy. They're fantastic things, as I said, when people ring up and say my dad played in 1931, 32, have you any record of him? Dave Hickson, another former Everton centre-forward, does the same.
It makes it much better when you can talk about the winning, the way we're playing, and it makes it all that easier, on the tours. So to be a small part of this club is wonderful. Everything's bubbling. I mean, we can see that, we can get into Europe. There's no doubt about it.
Well, the Moyes factor, innit? Good old Davy Moyes.
Brilliant, fantastic. We're well impressed with Moisey. I'll be gutted if we don't qualify for Europe at the end of the season, and that just shows you the way it's changed.
£1.20 for your family, steak from the harbour.
It'd be nice if we'd have made the Champions League, but, if we get a place in Europe, I'll be happy with that.
The players arrive looking totally relaxed, but they know that today's match with Aston Villa is a must-win game.
The ambitions for this year is to, I think, qualify for Europe. To not get into Europe, it would be disappointing.
2 defeats over Easter have damaged our bid for Europe, and Blackburn Rovers are breathing down our necks. We need the boy wonder to be extra special today.
I've always stood outside the ground for 20 minutes, half an hour before the game. I love talking to the fans, and because I just want them to know I'm there, they won't ask me anything.
I tell you what, if it gets better next year, will you come and tell me?
I'll see you on the bus down to London.
The expectation's great because the club's been poor for so many years. So now there's an expectation, and that's got to be good for Everton. They should have expectations. If you have a crowd like we do, the expectations go along with it.
After a tense, goalless first half, disaster strikes, 1-0 to Aston Villa. With the European dream fading fast, Kevin Campbell gives us a lifeline. The stage is set for you-know-who to give us a last-minute fairy tale ending.
Show continued in grandstand style at Goodison, with the teenagers smashing a sensational late strike that keeps Everton on course for next season's UEFA Cup.
They've turned into a group of lads who, they know how down I am when we lose, and I think they probably don't want to see my face when it's like that. It's been a hard week this week, but and there was a bit of nerve, there's a bit of tension about it at the moment. We all know what it means, and but we kept going. Not always the best, but we kept going, and we got there in the end.
The European finish is there now, isn't it? It's within touching distance. How exciting is that for you?
Exciting, but still very much a difficult task, because, as we know, Blackburn are pushing us very hard for that place. I don't know, you'll maybe able to tell me, I don't know if we can finish lower than 7s now, don't quote me on that. If that is the case, then I think that's a marvellous achievement.
It's certainly going in the right direction. I think if you ask David Moyes, he would be a little cautious about how far they can go in what space of time, because I think he is pleasantly surprised at the progress they've made in the last 12 months. Now, you move on, suppose they get into Europe, I think they will. He'll be looking to add to this squad, and money's tight. So there's another story on the horizon.
On the last day of the season, Everton needed to beat champions Manchester United to guarantee European football next year. David Beckham and friends had other ideas. A 2-1 defeat meant Everton finished 7th, and the final UEFA Cup place went to Blackburn Rovers. Goodison was down, but not out. Everyone knew that this had been a great season for the Blues. A few days later, David Moyes was voted manager of the season by his fellow bosses. It was a consolation prize, but hopefully the first of many prizes for Moyes' side.
All I'm looking to is to try and start another era at Everton, like Howard Kendall's done in the past and like many other managers have done here, and see if we can bring some glory days back to Goodison.
I'll tell you a story nobody knows, other than me and David and the board. I phoned him up and said, listen, the board would like to give you something for saving us from relegation so early, so wonderfully. Obviously at the present, didn't want to take it. I said, no, I don't want it. I'm really well paid by Everton Football Club. I'm doing my job. I'm privileged to be here. I'm happy. I'm doing the job. That's what the man is.
Because